Hello, my beautiful YouTube friends. Welcome to my channel. I am about to go over how I made this badass sunstone key necklace. So stay tuned because we're about to get started on the good stuff. So first of all, I covered the sunstone in a copper foil just on the back and around, and then I brushed it with flux, and I am using an alloy key because the solder sticks directly to the alloy key and there's no copper foil needed for that. So it makes things easier. And I was contemplating using that eye charm, but I'm trying to keep it simple, so I decided not to. So let's get started. First, I am going to solder over the back of the sunstone and all around. So we'll get that going. And right now I have the temperature pretty jacked up, just because it just makes the solder flow so easily, and I just kind of tap it on, and then later on I'll smooth it out. Then I'll go around it, and it is hot. I mean, it's definitely hot. So if you want to use little finger mitts or pliers or whatever, please do, because I've burned myself a million times on the soldering iron or just on a piece. I might be a little immune now. But yeah, it's still pretty hot. But that's just what I do. I don't know. I live dangerously. Um, and I'm going to, I guess, apologize, but not really apologize. But you will hear my cat in the background because she thinks she's a superstar and she wants to be involved in all the things. So that's Sophie. Don't mind her. And now I just fit the sunstone onto the key just to make sure that it is the way I want it. Because once you solder it on, you don't want to have to go back and melt everything down and position it. So just make sure it's where you want it, and then do a solder on the top just to keep it in space or place. Keep it in place. Words are hard. And then you can go over the back and see how there's a hole. I just soldered over it and just did a glob of solder over that hole, and then I soldered around just to get it to make sure that it's adhering to the key. And whenever I'm doing any metal, like soldering over any metal, I usually solder over the whole thing just so that it's cohesive, because solder and alloy, they look different. You know, it's like a form, and then soldering is like free formed. So I usually just solder over the whole thing. Okay, cool. We've got this key all soldered up and like stuck with the stone. So now I'll probably just go over and around the front. Soldering the front, just making sure that it's all, like on there. And then on the bottom, just solder the bottom. And I do, like in between, I fluxed the crap out of everything just because you just want to make sure that you have a smooth and um, just the flux just helps to adhere the solder, and it keeps everything pretty smooth. Along with like a high temperature point, which is very helpful if you're just trying to keep a smooth solder. When you're working with texture, you will definitely want to turn down and mess with temperatures to see what works for you. Some days, when I'm making spikes, it's just a struggle. Like everything is just not working. And sometimes it just be like that. So don't mind me if I'm doing a video and you can just sit there and watch me struggle and we can go through it together. So thank you for your patience on that. It will be a thing in the future and today, as a matter of fact, because I did struggle. But yeah, so it is a constant learning process. I am self-taught, but in the end, it all gets done and it looks good and I'm happy with it. So whatever. Yay, go me. But here you can see me fluxing the top of the sunstone just to kind of help everything smoothly solder. Yeah, but also I turned down the temperature so that I can work with textures. And I am making these little nubs because that's where I'm going to essentially put my spikes. And so that's kind of marking where I want them. And then making nubs also kind of like has an raised up point so that when you're making the spikes, it goes up and around. So I do make like these little nubs or balls or whatever you want to call them. I don't know. They look like nubs to me, so we're going with it. I'm sure there's a technical term, or maybe there isn't because I don't know. Like, I've never heard it. If you've heard of a technical term for what I am calling nubs, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, I am forever an amateur, so don't mind me. We're going through this together. Anyway, look, I have a spike. It's so cute. So we started with that spike, and then I am doing all the spikes where all the little nubbies are. That's what we're calling them now. They are nubs. And here is where you can watch me struggle because the spikes don't want to spike. And it's funny because sometimes when I'm doing spikes, hi Sophie. Sophie says hi. She's a superstar. Anyway, sometimes when I do spikes, I can do spikes for days and it just gives and it gives and it gives and it gives. And then sometimes it's just the biggest struggle known to man or woman or whatever whoever you are, whatever you are, cat. I don't know. Sophie, she has her struggles too. But yeah, so I got distracted, ADD. Anyway, we have some spikes and now I am like, oh, maybe that was a little lumpy and I'm going over the key again. Or maybe I got frustrated because my spikes were not working the way I wanted them to. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to go over the key again and, you know, why not? So here I am trying to do the spikes again, and I do tap my the point of my soldering, the tip of my soldering iron. I tap it on my resistant mat, my heat resistant mat, because sometimes it just helps with my spikes, like getting the solder to the very tip. And I don't know, just works for me. So I do that, and maybe it works for you. So try it out. But here I am. This last spike was just like bloop, and it would like roll to the end of time. And here I go again, and I was trying to make my spike, and then it went bloop, and I don't know. This is where the struggle was happening. So we can go through this together. Look, bloop. Woohoo, another bloop. So then I just went around and like smoothed it out because now I have solder globbing. So I was smoothing it out. You know, eventually I did get the spike. I don't know what sorcery it was that caused it because I didn't do anything different. But yeah, the spike did end up happening. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. We are trying to get a spike. We are struggling. Like I said, sometimes I can do like thousands of spikes on one piece with no problem. So don't ask me. I don't know. It just either works or it doesn't. You just have to keep trying until you get it and messing with temperatures. I know I turned it down a little bit more because I was like, ugh, this thing is not working. Oh my God. I don't actually talk like that, but I don't know. I was definitely struggling right now. So let's sit here and watch me struggle. Well, get back here. Get back here, solder. Oh, there we go. Nope. Kind of. We're getting there now. Here we go. All right. I did a spike. 3 of them. So exciting. So then I flipped it back over and went over the back again. Just because sometimes with the heat, when you're working on the front, the heat gets a little globby and the solder is looping and, you know, so you just want to go over it one more time. I mean, you don't have to, but I do. And I did jack up the heat again so that it wouldn't be clumpy again. And it's hot, so I am using pliers this time. So just going back over it and smoothing it out where the solder was going bloop. Do 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 do. Smoothing it out. Yay, it's smooth. I do use silver gleam because it's the best, just so you know. You don't have to, just as long as you're using lead-free solder, you know, you're good, because lead, it is toxic, and you don't want people to wear toxic lead on their body, and you don't want to be working with it, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't. There's no reason for it. There's all different kinds of solders that are lead-free. And I don't know why I left the camera. I just decided, let's go work over here and not be in the camera. So sorry about that. Oh, there I am. All right, so now I'm just soldering around the sides one more time just to make sure it's smooth because we had those bloop things going on, and I just want to make sure that it looks cohesive. So just going around the back, and I'm barely in the picture frame now because yay, let's hide, right? Why not? This is my second ever video, so, you know, a work in progress. Thanks for your support. You can watch me as I grow. Hopefully I get back. Oh, look, I attached a ring to the top. I was thinking about attaching that little, eyeball thing, eyeball charm, but then I was like, no, let's keep it simple, you know, like, um, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't want it to be too long. So I just went with a jump ring. And I said, we'll do the eyeball some other time with something else. So I just did a little glob of solder to the sunstone and just kind of smoothed it out again and went around the edges again. And Sophie says hi again. So yeah, cool. We've got this cool pendant. It's almost done. It's looking badass, and I'm happy that we got the spikes even though it wanted to be difficult. And that is how I did it. Ta-da! Sophie said, yay, good job, Mom. Yeah, thanks, Sophie. Woohoo! We did it. Anyway, yeah, so this is my second ever video. So excited that you are here to join me and hear my ramblings because I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but hey, I'm here. I'm doing it. And then I went over it again because I'm neurotic, as I said before. Let's go over it 500 times because we can. So just smoothing out where I attached the jump ring to. Doop-a-doop-a-doo, smoothing it out. If you like this video, please comment in the section. Yay, you're doing a great job. If you don't like it, then keep your comments to yourself, please, because I'm still learning. I'm doing my best. And actually, no, you know what? If you don't like it, please tell me what you don't like about it because I want to know. I want to grow. I want to learn. I want the critiques. Give them to me. I can take it. I am aware that, you know, my project isn't even in the camera for some of this whole video, which is not, you know, very productive in visualizations. Wow, that was hard to say too. But hey, I will get better. I promise. Just stick with me. We'll get this. Cool. So we have this awesome key pendant. It's done. It looks cute. It's simple. Anyway, so what I do is I wash with Dawn detergent and baking soda, and I scrub it with a toothbrush so that it shines it up and it gets all the flux off and it kind of neutralizes the acid. So it looks super pretty. Like right now it's kind of like, I don't know, cloudy a little bit. Whenever you wash it with Dawn and baking soda, it like really does transform it. Trust. It's like a miracle worker. And I just use a toothbrush and I scrub it up. And then rinse it in water and ta-da! It's so cool. Look how cute. And then I also use Renaissance wax and I'll just use a polishing cloth and I hand polish everything and it kind of seals the metal and shines it up. Ta-da! It's done. Thank you so much for tuning in and I will talk to you next time.